If you refuse, it's like your boss is saying he or she respects you and appreciates your work. But you are basically saying, I don't care if you like me or not, and your respect means nothing to me. Well, that would be so awkward and even disastrous, wouldn't it? Hello everyone, my name is Marianne. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about Chinese history, culture, language, and lifestyle. If you are interested in these topics, make sure to subscribe to my channel and press the bell button so you'll be notified when I upload new videos every week. Okay, let's get started. Eating sounds like a fun thing, isn't it? Especially in China, a country where you have such a variety of dishes. But today, we're not talking about Chinese food. We're talking about the table manners when you're eating, so that you won't turn a joyful meal into a disaster. Of course, I don't want you to feel nervous about eating with Chinese people, because actually there are not that many table manner issues when eating with friends. And Chinese people are generally very tolerant and friendly. They will understand that you are from a different country with different customs. But the tricky thing is that most Chinese business are done over dinners. So maybe when you're expecting a casual meal with your bosses, colleagues, or clients, you are actually supposed to treat it as a formal business meeting. Now, that will be a make or break situation where you need to know all the good table manners to make a good impression or to close the deal. Or for those of you who have a Chinese girlfriend, boyfriend, or partner, when you're eating with your Chinese parents-in-laws, it's always beneficial to have a few table manner tricks under your sleeves. The general rules are similar in the East and the West. For example, it's considered rude to talk when you have food in your mouth, or to point at people with your cutleries. We will skip these obvious ones in this video and dive straight into the unique Chinese table manners. Let's start with the most important thing, that is how to correctly use and put down your chopsticks. Usually at the table, we have chopsticks and spoons. As we mentioned in this video, it's super essential to figure out the correct way to use your chopsticks. Basically, when you're holding your chopsticks, don't point them towards other people and don't poke your food with your chopsticks, because that resembles the offerings we have for ancestors during traditional Chinese ceremonies. As you might know, Chinese people avoid talking about or even thinking about death. And our offerings to ancestors are considered ghost food. So naturally, this gesture would be taken the wrong way and even considered a curse to people at the table. I know you probably didn't mean it like that. It's just so much easier to poke the food as a fork rather than use the chopsticks correctly. But please, make some effort if you really want to show your respect to people you are eating with and their culture. On the other hand, when you are putting down your chopsticks, you need to put it vertically on the bowl, the plate, or just on the table. But make sure that the smaller end always points to the front, even if it's pointing at the person opposite of you. It's confusing, isn't it? I know I just said don't point your chopsticks at people. But here is actually a nice gesture to say that I'm humble to receive the delicious food and I won't just think of myself. Another point is about the choice between the chopsticks and the spoons. I know after hours and hours of training, some of you are super proud that you can master the art to use chopsticks. So you want to pick up as smaller things as possible. Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's very impressive that you can pick up peas or rice with your chopsticks. But there's really no need to do that in a social gathering or business setting, because there is a point the spoons exist, right? The next point is about the hierarchical order. I know it might sound like Chinese people are in some kind of wolf packs. It's kind of strange to imagine there's an alpha and everyone else has a certain order to do everything. Well, in formal situations, yes, that actually works. Because for a long time, Chinese culture is based on everyone living together in harmony. The Western-style nuclear family, where you only have two parents and their children, is very new in China. So most people still maintain the habit to show their respect to the oldest, the wisest, or anyone who has the highest social status. So like I said, in business situations or formal family dinners, it's still more polite to follow the hierarchical orders. We need to start eating after the oldest person or your boss pick up their chopsticks. And it will definitely give you a bit of edge if you actively propose a toast or offer to drink with your bosses, your clients, or your parents-in-laws. This is called 敬酒. Nowadays, a lot of people do it as a form of flattery, but to be honest, I'm not saying you have to impress these people in this way if you don't want to. I think it's more like you already respect this person or look up to them, and this is the perfect occasion for you to show your respect with your actions and words. Since we've come to this subject, I can tell you a bit more about drinking formalities in social gatherings and business dinners. It varies from regions to regions, but I'll tell you the formality in the north as an example. Basically, people of the highest social status or people who will pay for the dinner will sit on the highest position. Let's call it the host position. On the opposite would be the second place. That would be the co-host position. The most honored guests will sit on both sides of the host, and the order of the other seats doesn't really matter that much. When the dinner starts, the host is supposed to stand up and propose 3 toasts respectively. This is to welcome the guests and get everyone relaxed. Then he or she will signal that everyone can start eating. And then it's the job of the co-host to find another 3 occasions to propose another 3 toasts. Also, the co-host will need to find a new subject and start the conversations when people stopped talking. And here comes the freestyle round. Everyone can make toasts dedicated to other people they want. But that is the most tricky part that I don't like. If someone older than you or a boss proposes a toast to you, you kind of need to drink, even if you are not thirsty or you're already a little bit drunk. Because if you refuse, it's like your boss is saying he or she respects you and appreciates your work. But you are basically saying, I don't care if you like me or not, and your respect means nothing to me. Well, that would be so awkward and even disastrous, wouldn't it? In Mandarin Chinese, there's a term called 不给面子, which means to make them lose face. So I suggest that in these kind of situations, you can pace yourself from the start. And if you're making a toast or receiving a toast, remember to take sips instead of drinking the whole glass. Also, here's a trick. If you want to refuse politely, you can use the term 以茶代酒, which directly means using tea as alcohol. This way, you can drink tea instead without embarrassing your superiors or clients. Another interesting point related to drinking, both tea and alcohol. If it's your turn, or if you have the chance to pour tea or beer for other people, always remember a Chinese saying, 茶要浅,酒要满, which means when pouring beer, you need to make it a full glass, whereas for tea, you can only pour half of the cup or 2/3 of the cup. By the way, this rule doesn't apply when you are pouring wine, because wine is kind of a Western drink, so you can just pour it the Western way. When making toasts and cheers with other people, you still need to have the hierarchy order in your mind. If it's with your boss or an older person, it's better to lower your glass as much as possible, so the edge of your glass won't surpass the edge of their glasses. But if it's with your subordinates, you can just hold your glass at normal height, so the other person can position their glass lower than yours. If it's with friends or colleagues of the same level, it doesn't matter that much, you can just go on with freestyle. Of course, there will be times when you are not sure what is the correct way to do. For example, in some dinner parties, people may use a set of public chopsticks and spoons, and then they will change back into their own chopsticks and spoons to eat the food. Or sometimes, after a meal, the waiters or waitresses might bring everyone bowls of lemon water to rinse your mouth or hands. If you're not sure if this mysterious liquid is another soup or to wash your hands, don't hesitate to discreetly ask the waiters or waitresses or just the people next to you. Chinese people are friendly and they will be glad to help. Don't worry, you won't be laughed at because most people understand how difficult it is to live in a totally strange country. Voila, here are the Chinese table manners and my advice. Which one surprised you the most? Leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Instagram for more content about Chinese culture and Chinese proverbs. Also, if you want to know more about Chinese culture fun facts, I'm sure you will enjoy this video right here. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see you next week.